Hi, my name's Graham Martin. I'm the recruitment guy from orchardjobs.com. If you're watching this video blog, I'm hoping it's because you're either an employer or you're thinking about hiring some staff in the near future. In nearly 25 years, I've personally recruited over 2,000 people for organisations around the North London and home counties area. So what I'm going to try and do in these series of video blogs is pass on to you some tips and some hints of the way that you can actually go about recruiting better quality staff than you have before. Maybe we'll have some fun, but it's going to be a serious subject at the same time. There will also be some downloads available on the website, therecruitmentguy.com, so you can get all the information on all these video blogs in one go. Anyway, the first thing I want to talk about is the occasion whereupon you're sitting in your office on a Monday morning and your dream employee walks in and hands you the resignation letter. Now, a lot of people take it very, very personally when somebody resigns, but you shouldn't do. The fact that somebody wants to leave your company shouldn't necessarily be a reflection upon how you run your business. Maybe you've done a great job of developing that person, and you know what? It's time for them to move on. Or maybe actually, perhaps, you're delighted that they've decided to move on. But one tip that I would make to you is that you should not, in any circumstance, try and persuade them to stay. Sure, there are the few odd exceptions, but for the most part, when somebody's decided to leave your company, you should be gracious enough to let them go. Now, it's going to be a bit of a pain in the neck to re-recruit for this position, I accept. It's going to cost you time, money and effort, and of course you've got to put a lot of thought into how you're going to go and recruit the replacement. But if you did decide to, should we say, counter-offer or up the bid on this individual, there's a statistic which I need to pass on to you, which is that 85% of the people that stay after they've been made a counteroffer leave within 9 months. The fact that that person decided to have the courage to come and tell you they want to move on wasn't just about money, wasn't just about the environment or the staff or the prospects or the training opportunities. It was probably a whole bunch of stuff. And quite frankly, if you offer them another £1,000, maybe another £2,000 to stay, they might decide to accept it for the short-term income increase. But long-term, there are other issues, and that will still come through. The other thing is that you'll probably resent them in some way or form. And I would strongly suggest that if somebody comes in and says they want to move on, well, be gracious enough, wish them good luck, just make sure they work as hard for you in the last month as they possibly can, and that you make sure that you get as much information down as possible about the procedures and the systems and everything that you need to pass on to maybe one of your managers or perhaps the new person coming into the job. So, first thing, don't take it personally. Second thing, don't rush into finding a replacement. Most companies that I talk to that have struggled with recruitment of staff is because once they've decided to hire a replacement, they've rushed into it and they've gone out and they've thought they'll go for exactly the same person. But whilst they might have hired, let's say 3 years ago, a credit controller or somebody in warehouse, or maybe a technical salesperson, or somebody in production, the fact is that a lot of managers don't realise that that job, that particular technology perhaps, or systems or clients have moved on. So I would consider strongly that you should take a little bit of time, don't make a knee-jerk reaction, but just think about exactly what you want to accomplish by rehiring for this position. Dig out the old job specification. It would interest you to know that a lot of companies don't actually physically write down what they want somebody to do. And we'll talk about that in a later video blog. But right now, start thinking about talking to the manager of that individual or talking to the person. Find out what that job is actually about. What skill sets are needed today. Maybe there's some new software that they're using that you don't appreciate. An individual might need a particular degree of experience or maybe a qualification to use. Maybe if it's in a warehouse, the incoming person needs to know certain health and safety regulations. Maybe they need certain management skills or other qualifications. So do think about this. The other thing I would say is, and again I find it amazing, that employers, managers, owners of businesses will often spend more time planning a holiday or the purchase of a car or laptop than they do when they hire a member of staff. Now if you think if the average person costs I don't know, let's say £25,000. And in fact, in the UK, it's about 28,000. But if you were to consider somebody staying with your company for 4 years, that £25,000 is going to be £100,000. And with national insurance, let's say £112,000. And with training and additional bits and bobs, it's not difficult to think that that person that you hire at £25,000 will actually cost your business £125,000 over a 4-year average period. So I really do urge you to think twice about rushing out and hiring like for like. Some consideration will pay you dividends in the long run. Think about it, plan it, talk to other colleagues, find out exactly what it is that you're trying to achieve when you hire this new person. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the job description. So I hope you get your pens and pads ready for that. Graham Martin, the Recruitment Guy from orchardjobs.com, saying goodbye.